And we're live once again on another Tuesday, and I have a special guest in the house, beaming all the way in from Amsterdam on
Yeah.
this crazy time zone week. She's on time. She's on top of it. Yay, yay, Petra Fisher. So we are here today, and we're going to have a great topic, and we're going to be talking about it's easy to make your time on LinkedIn profitable and enjoyable. So, Petra, before we get started, just in case somebody doesn't know you, please just give us a little, overview of who you are and what you do so that people know who we're talking with today.
Excellent. Thanks so much for having me here, Gillian. Because remember when we first met, like in person on Zoom, and we talked about it, and people said, "Oh, where's the replay?" But it was just a social catch up. So happy that we're now doing this in a way that other people can, enjoy it or not enjoy it, whichever may be the case. So who am I? I am Petra Fisher, a independent LinkedIn trainer. So I don't work for LinkedIn, but I share my knowledge with other people. And the big thing is when I was first encouraged by friends to start my own business, I had two issues with that. One was I am a darn good trainer, but I didn't have a long background in anything because I've done so many different things. So I was like, what am I going to train in? And the other thing was like acquisition. I don't do that. I don't do cold calling. I love being in front of people. Put me on a stage, audience doesn't matter. But one-on-one at a networking event, I don't talk to you unless you talk to me first. So how is that going to turn into a profitable business, right? So start out as a side hustle, but I found my way that I could become so visible on LinkedIn that people either approached me directly or started referring to me. So after a few years, it wasn't a side hustle anymore. I said goodbye to the day job. And because that's been working so well for me, that's what I'm teaching other people. And the other thing, and that's probably why we picked this topic today, is I still meet so many people who say, oh, LinkedIn is boring or it's so stiff because it's professional or anything like that. And so that's the other thing. So the two things that I really help people with on LinkedIn is how to attract clients or get people to refer to you without having to do any outreach cold calling. And a big part of that is just show up as yourself, as you are. And sure, not everybody's going to like that, but those that do, they're just the dream clients to work with. So other than that, I have a big fat red cat who's been polite enough to walk behind the laptop, but might just as easily jump on the keyboard and then maybe I'm gone. Who knows? But yeah,
That's
that's me.
awesome. That's awesome. So the first thing that I have to ask you is, when I first came across you on LinkedIn, I loved your headline. Your funny.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your headline? What's your headline?
Okay. I know the beginning. Okay, it's something along the lines of cranky old fuddy-duddy claims to know shitloads about LinkedIn. No? Cranky old fuddy-duddy claims to know shitloads about LinkedIn, says he can help global entrepreneurs attract clients, and then something else. I changed the last bit, but this bit, yeah, it has been for quite a while.
I love that. And I love that because it was like it immediately showed your character in a sea of people who were like CEO of XYZ company, which is like boring, like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't tell us you're an account executive of da 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 da. Da. It doesn't tell us anything. And yours immediately jumped out, and it was like in this sea of sameness, it was like, I have to know this person. I have to know this person, which is exactly probably what you were looking for. So how did you even come up with cranky old fuddy duddy? I love that.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't know. I do remember it was just before I was going on summer holidays. Um, and that's when I put the cranky old fuddy duddy claims to know shitloads about LinkedIn, says he can help global entrepreneurs attract clients, because that's when we still had 120 characters.
That's awesome.
Where this came from, I don't know. And that's what I do a lot. I just do stuff. And then if it works, I think, what made that work? And that's then what I use for my clients. So I had every intention. I went, shit, still got that headline there. Oops, I better change it back when I come home. Well, it's just going to be 4 weeks that year. But when I came home, I had invitations to connect with people I thought for sure would be turned off by it because I don't have a
Mm.
corporate background, and these were, high up people in corporate like C-suite and whatnot, and they just loved it. They had the same response as you, and also because I was told by some people, look, when you focus on entrepreneurs, that's fine, but if you still want to get corporate gigs as well, you better, this headline. Nah.
Mm.
The first year I had this headline, 75% of my revenue came from corporate gigs and government organizations because,
Oh.
as I found out, it's actually human beings that work there. And so their managers went like, hey, at least we know with you, people don't fall asleep during training, or I know you'd really relate to my team, or whatever resonated. And I think, and it's a bit with you with also using a bit of Bitmojis and also having video. It's some people might think, that's so childish, Gillian. Come on, this is a serious network.
Yep.
And those people are not going to be fun clients for you, but the
Mm-mm.
ones that relate to it, that enjoy it, they start following you. So ultimately, I found that this headline, because I've had some responses that were not very nice, but it just strengthened me. And wow, this just acts as a filter. And
Gold.
yeah, absolutely. So it's actually been there for a few years now because I'm sort of hesitant to part with it and
I
do
wouldn't.
something else.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't. It's like it really makes you be known. Like, that it's like as soon as you say that, I think I could talk to anybody on LinkedIn and they're like, "Oh, that's Petra." Like it's immediate that it's for you. And it's kind of like me with the video easy peasy. It's like
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about me and they forget my name, but they don't forget video easy peasy. And they go, that gal with the video easy peasy, or the
Yeah.
one with the little bitmoji everywhere, which I stole from John Asperian, by the way. But it's just part. And I love that you just said that one thing about we're not for everyone. And if we try to be, oh, I got to be this for these people, and then I got to be this for these people, you're never being you. You're just
No.
being, something for everyone. And then when you show up, then how can you teach at the way that you teach if you, oh, well, now I got to remember I got to talk this way for these folks and talk that way for those folks. It's just better off to be you. And the people that you don't resonate for, let them go find somebody else. There's so many people out here. We don't need to be trying on all these different approaches, or that's what I think. I'd
Yeah.
rather just be me. And if you don't like me, that's okay, because I'm not a good fit for everybody.
And I think you have just pretty much explained sort of the title or the topic of our talk today, because by just being yourself makes things a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But also by being yourself and only attracting those people that you really resonate with, you're at your best when you work with them. And that means they're either going to be return clients or they're going to become your ambassadors. And that is
Mm.
where it becomes profitable. Or, when you're like myself and you don't do outreach, you don't have to. Whereas some people who are really good at that, like, Angus Grady, for example,
Oh, we love
he
Angus.
can real quickly move on to phone, and that works well as well, which also means some people will be better suited to work with me and some people will be better suited working with someone else. And that's, yeah, I think once I started doing that, I think the moment was when I changed my profile picture from wearing a jacket
Mm-hmm.
to just having the t-shirt, because I used to say, oh yeah, regardless of everything I'm saying, there's still that first impression, those first few seconds. So the picture is with the jacket to suck people in, and then as soon as they start reading, they'll decide yes or no. And then one day I thought, well, that's stupid, isn't it? Because if they're not going to read my profile because there's no jacket in the picture, then they don't need you,
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
that was the last thing I think I did. Okay, what happened before? Okay, this fun story. I went to deliver training in a international business bank. And I was really comfortable about it, wasn't stressed or anything. So, when it was time to go, I got my stuff, hopped on my bicycle, rode my bike over there. Whereas, they asked if I needed parking, and I've seen cars there that cost more than my house. But I'm riding my bicycle and all that. And I come in there and I think, oh, I'm wearing jeans and like this jumper that I knitted like 10 years ago because I was so comfy. So I gave that a spin. As the training started, I looked at them and I said, look, first impressions are made in seconds. When you walked in here and saw me in this outfit, some of you might have thought, don't know about that. But I said, fortunately, I see a few of you are wearing jeans as well. Now that I start talking, I've got the next hour to still leave a different impression on you than when you walked in. But when you visit my LinkedIn profile, I can't do anything if those first few seconds, and so that's sort of how I weaseled my way out of it then. But then later on, I thought about it. So like I said, I do stuff and then afterwards I analyze it. I thought, yeah, actually, I have to change my profile picture and I have to be totally me, because if I can get away with delivering training in such a formal setting in jeans and an old worn and torn jumper, then why would I even dress up anymore?
I gotcha. It's like I don't know the last time I wore pantyhose. I don't even know if they exist anymore. I don't even know if you can buy those. I don't own them. It's just like, nah, that's a thing of the past. That was corporate. That was corporate. So I see we have some comments. So let's hop over to those. So let me hide that and I'll hop over to our comments. So let's see. So, we have our lovely Linda Huckle, who was here last week.
Ooh.
Looking forward to the conversation, Jillian and Petra. Woohoo!
Yay.
And then we have Jeff, our favorite fan. He is always number one. He's always just so excited and great.
And Jeff knows what's in here.
Because you guys have Zoomed. You guys have Zoomed before, part of the Earl Grey tea club. And I'm drinking coffee today. Thanks for coming.
Okay, where's the leave this meeting button?
Because I'm a coffee drinker. I am. I just finished it. Ready to go. One lady from Las Vegas, one lady from Amsterdam, and here I am stuck in the middle, a thorn between two roses. Oh, that's adorable. That's adorable.
We need the three of us one day so that
we'll get that on the calendar. That would be nice. And then we have Tina coming in from Belgium, and I don't know if you guys know each other, but she's close to you. She's close to you, at least closer than I am to you guys. Hello, LinkedIn Linda joining from the UK. Love the mug, Petra. Let's see your mug again, Petra. Ooh, very nice. And what does it say? Keep it cool. I love it. Crafty old fuddy-duddy. Oh, he wants to change your headline.
No, Jeff is always changing things into C words because of his love for coffee, and then he's always making different things out of my cranky. So nice one.
And then we have Jane. Hello, Jillian and Petra. Cranky old ruddy daddy watching from Canada. See, we're just bringing everybody in from all over the place. Oh, yeah. Autocorrect. Fuddy duddy. Okay. Yeah. You just gotta love the autocorrect. Especially you can't fix it in the comments either. Geniusness shines through. So true. Hey, Jillian. So we've got Ashley from the UK in the UK. Nice. Woohoo!
Closer to me than to you.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun that we have all this.
Yeah. So who else is Team Europe?
Well, I guess, we got a lot of people from, and it's really awesome. We have people that come from India too. So, the people in New Zealand, we give them the New Zealand and Australia people, we give them a pass because it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we're like,
no excuse.
But they do catch the replay. Replay. So that's always good. So we've talked about being fun. It's really about you being you, letting your own personality come through, recognizing you can't be for everybody. So how about the profitable? How does the fun turn into profitable for you?
For me, it's because those people that really resonate with my style will, by the time they feel they need a LinkedIn trainer, turn to me but also even more so, I think that people start recommending me so much. You know, when there's a post and they ask a question about LinkedIn or something, and people start tagging, say, hey, do you know the answer or whatnot? But also, I don't know, I did this quick profile review years ago when I did it for free for a little while. And, you know, to get people on my mail list, obviously, but who cares? But then one day I got a message from someone in Ghana. So not a Nigerian prince, you know, someone in Ghana, and asking about my services. And we hopped on a call, and it was this company that was so doing the right thing for the community, like, you know, it was a commercial company, but producing their things in a sustainable, fair trade way. All the local women communities that produce their sources, they strongly believed in profit at the source. So it's not like another model, but really learning these women also had to do the business. So it was like a dream client. And I asked him, like, how'd you find me? This was originally from France, but he's in Ghana. And he says, oh, I asked so-and-so, do you know, so-and-so mentioned you. So then I looked up who's so-and-so. Okay, so this was someone in business that I did that quick one-page profile review for, that I had never heard anything back from, that I was even a bit like, oh God, did I overstep the line with my cheekiness? So send them a message. This is like 4 years later, like, oh, thank you so much for referring this client to me, but why me? Surely you must know more LinkedIn trainers. And then he said, yes, but my friend asked, do you know a fun LinkedIn trainer? And he said, then there was only one left. So that is how it becomes profitable, that if you enjoy yourself, and you don't have to be like Gillian and me and just laughing your heads off and all that, but you have to be you, so that you attract the people that you love working with. Because when you love not just what you're doing, but also the interaction with your client,
right,
that brings the best out in you. And that means that client will either come back. You know, I have a client that I worked on the profile, and every 2 years he comes back to me because has a new job or a new focus and wants to change things a bit. And like I said, people become your ambassador. So yeah, like I said, I went from side hustle to full-time business owner, and I work fewer hours than I did when I worked for the boss.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's encouraging for introverts. I always tell people I'm an introvert. People don't believe it, but I really am. And inbound marketing is better because I'm not an Angus. I can't get people on a telephone and just start, I kind of let people come to me. So I like to stay top of mind. And I kind of feel that whenever I kind of have my little Bitmoji Jillian showing up, she's advertising, I'm fun, I'm peppy. What are some of the things that people could do on their profile to let their personality come out, like maybe using the pronouncing tool, or the video? Well, we won't do so much about the video, but like, even I think you've talked about you can be using that for more than just how to say your name, right?
Yeah, so okay, so there's actually two ways to answer your question. But you said we're not really going to talk about video, but for anyone, if you still sort of humming and ahhing about that cover story, that 30-second video you can put behind your face, then you need to go to Gillian's activity and sort it by articles, because everything is ever written about it, so then put in one article with all the links. So that is just brilliant. I was seen that before.
And I have yours. I have yours as an example because it was a good one.
But
it was a good one.
To see, how do you add your personality to your profile? Okay, the way I explain it to my clients is, when you work with your clients or prospective clients, what do you wear? So that's this thing that I no longer dress up. So then my profile picture shouldn't dress up either. My videos shouldn't be with me all dressed up.
Right.
Then I ask, how do you talk to people? So in Dutch, for example, and quite a few other languages, there's two words for you. You know, the formal one and the informal. Like, to a child, you use the one, but to an adult that you don't know, you use the other one. Although that's starting to disappear. It's in French and German and in quite a few languages. So you think about that. how would you talk to a stranger when they first approach you for
Mm,
business? But also, um, do you speak casually or more formal? There's no right or wrong here, but how do you behave
mm,
either while you're at work or while you're talking to people who consider hiring you? And I'm hoping at least these two are the same.
mhm,
And that you want to show everywhere on LinkedIn. So whether it's a video for your cover story, whether it's posts you do, whether it's how you've written your profile. And so the interesting thing is that I used to be quite a nasty person as far as language goes, one of those nitpicks, like that shouldn't have a comma or that's wrong. And
the
even
grammar
though,
police.
yeah, and even though that still goes on in my head, my own writing is as I speak. So I
Mm,
might have sentences that start with "and," whereas that could never happen because it should have a comma and etc. So that is me. This afternoon, I was delivering a session in my group training, and I played a recording of a video because otherwise I talk too long, and that way I knew I told them for that 10 minutes. And in that video is a bit where I'm suddenly going like, yeah, so bloody bloody blah, and huh, lost my train of thought. Not very clever. I guess I should edit this out of the video, but can't be bothered. That's just not me, and that's it. And yeah, that's still part of a paid course, and they all burst out laughing. So I guess if that's who I am, then in my videos that I post on LinkedIn, I'm not going to edit out any bloopers either.
I
So
do
what
that
about
too.
you? How do you do that?
I do that too. It's like I just let the like I always tell people I don't use a script, I don't use a teleprompter. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I know what I'm going to say, I write it out. I kind of have my bullets of what I'm going to say, and I just trust in the universe that whatever's going to come out of my head is the main message. And if I and every once in a while I'll go oops, when I'm showing something and it's like, oh, that's not the right screen, and then I go over here and I don't cut that stuff out because I feel that's part of being human. Plus, I think it gives people a bit of a rest when they're
Mm-hmm.
watching on a video and then all of a sudden you do something silly, unintentional. They can kind of take a little break with you before you go on to the next thing. And I found some people they edit their videos so precisely that they're choppy. They're just like every single piece of space is taken out. And that's not how we talk. We do have
Mm.
gaps. We do have oh, sorry, forgot what I was saying. And then you go back, and that's natural. So I always tell people be natural. And that's what I try to do. I think that
Yeah.
makes you human. That makes you
And I
human.
think the other point is that when we last spoke, coming back to that cover story video, um, I think we both agree adding captions is a good idea because a lot of people have the phone on mute, but also being
Yep.
inclusive, people with hearing disabilities or people with no disabilities at all, but just my mumbling and accent. But the big thing you said then was I still had to do mine. Remember, I was still umming and
Mhm.
ahhing about it.
Yep.
And then you said that you had just done a talking head, no fancy editing and effects and whatnot, because you said that also makes it easier for the people that follow me, you in this case, to see, hey, it doesn't have to be all fancy. Because if
No.
when we LinkedIn trainers all do all these fancy things with, cherry on top, then other people will start procrastinating like even I did. And I really loved that. And so then I think it was the next day when I sort of
You
put
did.
my phone on a tripod and started talking, and that was it.
That was it. And you can't overthink it. And I'm amazed at the number of people that are still sitting there overthinking it, thinking that it needs to be this Hollywood production. And there are some people that is on brand for. They're those kind of people that every video they make is a Hollywood production because
Yeah.
that's who they are, and it's okay. But for the rest of us, we just have to turn on the phone, smile, say what you would say to a human being, caption it, get it up there, and be done with it. And no, you can always change it later. And
Mm-hmm.
I think people overthink this stuff. And it's the same with, I once met someone who was stressing about their LinkedIn profile. They were new to LinkedIn and they said, I'm afraid people are going to, pick at what I say, how I say it. They feel like they're writing their profile with their 8th grade English teacher in their head, kind of
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, you need more commas. And then they start writing very formal, and then they write in the third person,
Oh
like
God.
Jillian is a video coach. And it's just like, I can't be a third person on LinkedIn. It's just, or else I'd look like I'm crazy. It's like I got these people in my head. And
Yeah.
but I think people do overthink it. And and one of the things I actually recommend, Petra, for
Mm-hmm.
people who are, trying to write, because I do a lot of writing, is to actually write the way you talk. So I like a program called Otter AI. It's a iPhone app, and you can actually turn it on, talk what you'd like to say, and it
Mm-hmm.
will do it will record it for you, but it will also give you a transcription. So then you have that, and you can, later you can use it for in your writing. Then you can just copy and paste. And so that's a good way to do some of your profile, like
Yeah.
your about section or something. Talk like a human being.
And that's such a brilliant tip. And so yeah, there's two things I was thinking when you were talking. So I love this, what you're saying. One was when you started talking about third person. To me, a LinkedIn profile is a conversation without you being present. So if I was to say
Quote.
to you now, look, so Gillian, what do you do?
Mm,
First word out of your mouth would be I. So forget that English teacher that says we don't start a sentence with I, because we
right.
do.
Yes.
But the other thing is when you started talking about just recording it and then have the transcript, I don't know if you can see I'm being a bit uncomfortable. I have frozen shoulder, right? Because I dislocated my shoulder 2 months ago, big drama and all that, and now it's frozen.
Mm,
So I have started using speech to text a lot, and you don't even need an app for it. If you have Microsoft Word, for example, it has this button that says dictate,
yep.
and you start talking, and it's really good. If I pause a little bit, it knows whether to put a comma or a full stop. It gets it right about
Amazing.
80-90%. And the fun thing is, apart from that, I don't know anything about Apple and Mac stuff, but apart from Microsoft Word, if I'm on LinkedIn and I want to do a comment and things are hurting and I can't reach far enough to type, on a Windows computer, you just do that Windows key and then the letter H, and then the same thing pops up anywhere on
Yep.
the internet. So even for LinkedIn comments, I've been using speech to text. So
Yep.
then I've got to edit out a lot of the so's, because I say
That's
so a little
good.
bit too
Google,
much. But
Google Docs does it too. You can go
mm,
into, if you can use, there's a voice to speech thing in Google Docs, and it's fabulous. And you can actually cheat and have something that, like, maybe you're listening to some sort of like podcast or something. You could actually just put it by your computer, and it will just put the whole thing
mm,
on, transcribe it on the screen for you. And you're just like, wow, that's kind of cool. That's very neat.
yeah. So
So
what is the biggest thing that you do to both enjoy yourself on LinkedIn, and by enjoying yourself, it turns into, paying clients? How do you make LinkedIn profitable?
I allow my personality to come through, and I don't just talk about video. Videos,
Mm-hmm.
like 80% of, my posts are going to be about video, how to do video problems, video questions. So a lot, I do helping valuable content. That's pretty much mostly what I do. And that's 80% of my LinkedIn. But
Mm-hmm.
20% of my LinkedIn is just, a picture or something I thought about. Like last week, I went on vacation. And I thought, well, I don't want to talk about video when I'm on vacation. It has nothing to do with my vacation. I took a picture at the airport, and I
Mm-hmm.
was wearing a mask, and I'm in Las Vegas. So in the Las Vegas airport, we have slot machines. I look like the bank
Yeah, I
robber,
remember that post.
which was fun. And then
Yeah.
I went to a museum, and I took the help wanted sign, and I thought, I think everybody would get a kick out of this. To what was it like to be a Pony Express riders in the 1800s? So I posted that as a post. I did a post this week about the time zones and how confused I was, but here's a helpful app. So I try to bring personal things. I talked about my experience flying on an airplane. So for the last week, I haven't even talked about video at all, but that's okay, because
Yes.
sometimes that's what resonates for people, is the personality. Now, couldn't do that all the time. I still have to provide valuable content, or else people would say, well, she's entertaining, but why would I ever want to work with her? So I think you have to do valuable content that works for me, that helps people. And then some people will just, when they're ready and they say, hey, I want to work with you because you're fun, you're easy peasy, and I understand stuff. And that, to me, is the best way to advertise myself.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, because I always tell people that I want to work with, when I say, oh, you always have to comment instead of like, or you always have to stay on topic. I don't give a disclaimer, say, oh, if I happen to say always, I actually mean 80 to 90% of the time.
Yep.
And you show, just your interests or your values or your personality or your craziness, or you're not crazy, in that other 10 to 20%. So I really loved how you, said that.
That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. And it was like, I remember, your birthday, you spent it in the ER, because that's when you, and you said the bonus was the nice guy that helped you up.
Until he came to see the next day, rang my doorbell to see who I was, on his way of taking his child to Grace. So, okay, bye, nice guy.
Yeah.
But
but
it was
I
a fun post.
that.
I didn't want to make it sure. The image of me in ER was mildly dramatic, so that helps with views, I admit. But then I tried to look at all the bright sides of what came out of that. Like, I have now become very proficient at speech to text.
There we go. There we go. So it's like there always are new skill sets. And I now know everything about the Pony Express in American history. So I could do a keynote speech on how that was all arranged and set up. And I just can't ride the ponies, but I can talk about the ponies. So that's kind of good. So I see we have some more comments. So let me hop over to the comments. Okay. So we've got, he's coming in from Italy. So yay, Team Europe.
Hey,
we've
Joe.
got a lot.
Team
We've got
Europe.
a lot
Cool.
of people. Proper international. I love the Brits. I love the Brits. They are proper. Bingo. People who know, like, and trust you will always recommend you. That is so right. That is so right. I know I have said this before, but Jillian created my awesome cover story. He's my best fan. He's my best fan. And his was just so fun. It was so fun working with Jeff. Absolutely right, Jillian. Some of the things in life happen after the word. Oops. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Being natural is absolutely the best way to be engaging. They see you, not a scripted you. Great advice. Absolutely. Absolutely. I use Otter. Okay. So she does exactly the same thing. Record your voice and transcribe. Great app. And this is one of those apps, just as a little thing, everybody, that you can use on a computer as well. So if you record it on your phone and then you go to Otter on the web, there's your whole thing. So it's nice. You don't have to even send it to yourself or anything. Didn't know Windows plus H, Petra. I'll investigate.
Yeah,
so
it works
good.
everywhere on the net. Doesn't matter where you are. And then you can just talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we should probably wrap this up. So Petra,
yes,
let's leave us with some words of wisdom. What's the takeaway that everybody needs to go away with today and learn?
That LinkedIn is fun, I guess. It's tricky because I think we've been repeating ourselves quite a lot about show up as you are, add your personality and all that. So something totally not about our title for this meeting is that commenting can be way more effective than posting. Because when you post, you just got to hope for the best that someone will see it. And the algorithm is not very kind. at first they'll show it to maybe, if you're lucky, 10% of your network.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, if you have a complete profile and a few other bits and bobs, that initial bucket is slightly bigger. But then it all depends on, do people engage with your post? Because that does two things. One, immediately when Jeff, who's always supporting everybody, is nice enough to comment on one of our posts, that gives us exposure to his extensive network.
Right.
And if that happens regularly, the algorithm think, oh, that Julian posts interesting stuff, will make that initial bucket a bit bigger. But with comments, you direct who will see what you have to say. So whether you comment on a post by someone that you think this person needs to know that I exist and that I, know a lot about my topic, or sometimes when you engage with posts from your peers, because I don't really believe in competition, then you're actually having conversations around your topic of expertise, because that's both your expertise and that's what people see. So comments can be way more intentional than actually posting. So, and it also saves you a lot of time, right? When you just whack out a few comments each day instead of having to sweat it out over writing a post. So I think that would be my key message to send out there to all of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Very empowering. And the comments are gold. That's where the relationships happen. I think that's how I met you. And, and I would also encourage people, do what we did. We met for a cup of tea, and it was like, for you, it was 8:00 in the morning. For me, it was 10:00 at night. It was crazy, but it was fun. And, that's how you make relationships. Take it off LinkedIn too. And get to know people and, start in the comments, connect, get to know each other. And then it feels like we met live, even though it's Zoom, but it feels live to me and it's awesome. And here we are live. So we've come full circle. We've come full circle. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and sign off. And thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Petra, for being here. This is awesome. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.